So hey, I'm back again, and today we're going to talk about repairing speakers. Because of COVID, everything's so slow. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, I had a client here at Mood Indigo Recordings that stayed at my Airbnb, and they got a little happy, and they turned the music up in this old school stereo, the ones that used to lay like a cabinet, like behind me. And they opened the cabinets up, slid them open, and blasted the music. Well, the woofers just hit against the wood, and of course, you know, it blew them out. So what today we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to replace these. You can see around here, the arm right here, this thing, this outer woofer. I say the outer cushion cone or whatever you want to call it. We're going to replace this. I remember back in the day when I used to work for Death Row, we were always blowing out tweeters and NS10s. And man, those things, as you own your own pair, if only you could learn how to repair the tweeters and the woofers, you just saved a lot of money. So we're going to show you how to do this. So we're going to turn over here. The first thing we're going to need to do is, as you can see here, we need to clean the old layer of glue off. So we're going to do that. Take an old credit card. Well, where's my credit card here? Let me see. There we go. So we're going to clean that off. We're going to scrape it, because if you don't scrape it, then it's not going to glue properly. And that should just about do it. Old school funk right there. Okay, now we're ready to go. Number two, you get the glue here, and you probably want to put some rubber gloves on. So let me get some rubber gloves in the old kitchen here. And here is, always dropping things. Here is our new piece. Show you right here. We're going to put that on here and put it over the top. So let me get these gloves on. There you go. Hate these things, but keep you from having messed up fingernails. Okay, so first thing we want to do is take this off. This is usually took off with glue. You can see this. They're usually old, they fall right off. You want to make sure that you clean the old stuff off of there too. This usually sticks pretty good. Okay, so we're ready with that. So next, we're going to take this glue, and you got to be careful with this because you don't want it to get all over the cone. If it does, it's not a big deal, but it just makes the job look a little bit neater. And the thing with this glue is you got to let it dry. I mean, you got to let it, rubber glue, you have to let it set a little bit. So you don't want to put too much on there, because otherwise it'll never set and you will have a lopsided bass woofer. And it might be sounding like George Clinton's Atomic Dog if it's not set right. Okay, so now once you get that, then you want to take your finger and just slide it just over just a little bit, just to widen out the pattern of the glue so that it all sticks. You don't want it to go too far into the cone, because it might cause some friction later. But you want to make sure that you spread the glue flatly, about 1/4 inch all the way around. If you go outside, it's no big deal. You just want to make sure it's on there. And so the next thing is, just like fixing a bicycle flat, you want to make sure that you get glue on the inside. So I'm just going to put this on the other speaker here, and I'm going to go around, and this one should be even thinner, because if you know, with the old bicycle, for your old school folks, when you repaired a flat, you had to do that on the side of the road. If you put too much glue on there, that thing would be singing, and you would be walking all the way home with your bike. So let's see here. So we got this all the way around here. I'm trying to do this pretty quick. I hate long videos. And then you take your finger and you just go around it like this. And this should be really thin, because this is just the bite. This is just what's going to grip it and bite it. And make sure you just keep the glue on the opposite side. Okay. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your glue for the top and keep it toward the edge. There we go. We're going to keep it right here on the edge here so that you can seal it. And there you don't have to rub that because the rubber is going to just be bouncing up and down all the time with that. So try to just rub your hands so you don't have glue all over the place. And you need some acetone later on to wipe off the old glue. Hopefully you have some kind of vinyl or silicone speaker cones, because the paper sticks better but might be a little harder cleaning up. But you can still use acetone on it, but I'd be very careful with that. So you kind of wet that sucker around a couple times, dry it off. Hopefully the glue is setting up, and then we're going to go to it. So here we go. We're putting this in the middle, and we're going to set this down and try to even this out. Make sure the holes line up. Let's see here. There we go. That's lined up. I'm going to walk over here right quick and make sure. So, make sure the holes line up. And then, what we're going to do is we're going to start from the top, and we're just going to kind of push the speaker down around. Now, it's not going to stick completely, but what you got to do is just kind of get it started. You don't want to have any kind of crinkles or binkles in it. So then you let that sit for a quick second. Some of it will stick down, some of it won't. But if you do it right, you'll be able to lay that joker down just like new money. As you can see there, that's laying down pretty good. Now I'm going to bring it up so you can see it there. And especially around these edges here, you don't want to have any gaps. So you want to actually make sure that's clean. So that's what I use this for. Take this around and just kind of press it down around so you don't put too much pressure on it. And you'll see some little, a lot of times it have a little, just like flats used to be. You can see where the rubber is raised. You want to make sure you work that down. Keep going around. Whew, this glue is strong. Some folks that used to sniff glue might like this, but after a while, it starts to get to that brain. You won't finish nothing. Yep, for sure. I'm all up in the camera. Let me step back a little bit. Okay, so that you can see that. So there you go. The funk is restored. Now you see some of those parts are kind of high. So what you have to do is you have to kind of wave this thing. Wave it and let it sit for a little bit. And then when you're done, it's gonna look like this one. All good to go. And you can tell inside, let's see if you can see that. Right inside here, all this needs to be laying down completely. Now this one seems like it's got a little bit of drift there, but the great thing about glue, it takes about a day for this to set, so you can actually make sure it's all pressed down and tight. So one other detail you want to, don't forget, is you want to take some acetone and wipe out the excess glue. Now I thought I had a towel here. Must have disappeared. Where did that towel go? And you want to be careful with the acetone towels because they can start a fire. You don't want to be like Fireman Bill. You'll be all burnt up. That's not good. So let's get some acetone. And you only need a little bit because you don't want to, especially if you have paper speakers, you want to be careful with that. Man, they make these things so you can't get burned up. So I'm going to use my old trusty key here. Come on, you bugger. Oh, now that was too far. Hopefully I can find that. You can prevent forest fires. You're gonna make sure you find that cap because you'll be all burnt up. So here we got a little glue. If you can see that around there, it's not too bad. So before it dries, you just want to just lightly, don't press down too much, because if you press down too much, then you'll mess up the seal. Although you don't have to worry about too much because that glue is gonna stick, so you just want to just wipe. There, you put a little bit on it, and it's gonna, the good acetone, if you get it, it's gonna dry. So you won't have to worry about it. There we go. And then one thing I almost forgot, the ring. Oh, let's get this ring. This is the last thing you want to put on. And I would suggest that you don't put a lot of glue down for that. I would just spot it right there, 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 there. Because the reason why I say that is you're going to be pressing this down to connect the speaker back to the speaker box anyway. So you don't want to have a whole bunch, because just in case you have to replace it again, you don't want a bunch of glue prying off this thing, so you have to buy a new one. And this is from the 70s. This is my father-in-law's stereo, all solid oak. Joker's heavy. There you got it. It's all done. So thanks for listening to my video, and please subscribe, because that's how we keep it going. And you can always ask Trace when you want to figure out something. So peace out. Remember, next time, just ask Trace. See ya.